We are living in a world where the line between digitalization and reality is increasingly blurred. Every day we see videos and photos only to find out that they were created by AI. It makes sense. Some of them are incredibly convincing, so convincing that they can trick people into believing something untrue.
But to better understand fake news or fake content, we decided to split this up into two main questions. One, is something fake just because it's artificially created? Well, no. Take H&M's model, for example. H&M scans their models and turns them into digital avatars, and then uses these to advertise their products. But does this mean they're fake? Well, no. So the second question would be, is something fake because it tricks people into believing something that is untrue? Well, here it gets a little bit more tricky. Let's take a skincare brand, for example. Say they generated their advertisement with AI, and through their use of AI, the advertisement you see is an idealized, perfect version of what the product could do. And then you, as a consumer, may buy this product believing that these are the results that you will obtain. Therefore, you're being led into believing something is true, even in fact that it's not. And this is where fake news and fake content really becomes dangerous.
To understand this more deeply, let's look at how fake news is actually produced. There's three main types. First, we have deliberate fakes. These are written to deceive. People invent quotes, headlines, or events, maybe for profit because clicks make money, maybe for politics, or simply for stir outrage. Then we have artificial fakes. AI can now write videos, full news stories, create realistic photos, generate fake people, and today it's only a matter of seconds. And then lastly, we have accidental fakes. They're rare, but they do happen. A meme or a joke might spread so far that people start believing it's true. No one meant to deceive, but the results are still the same. Here's an example. You might have heard, or not, about the viral Willy Wonka event in Scotland last year. Visitors showed up expecting a magical chocolate world, and instead walked into a sad warehouse with a creepy AI-generated script and random props. Because they had used AI-generated images, they completely oversold what they could deliver, and everyone was confused. So again, how it's made doesn't necessarily make it fake. Sometimes what really matters is what it does.
But why can we fall so easily for fake news? Let's be honest. Fake news can trick almost anyone here. But why? Because it's designed to mess with our emotions. It sparks fear, anger, or even excitement. And when we're emotional, we're less likely to step back and ask, wait, is this even true? Our brains are wired to love dramatic, attention-grabbing stories, even if they're fake. And with AI developing at alarming speeds, these are getting harder and harder to actually decipher. But here's the real kicker. A 2017 study from MIT found that fake news travels faster and farther than the truth. And this can only be amplified by algorithms on platforms such as Facebook and X, which reward this emotionally laden content. So posts with emotions or with reactions such as angry emotions or outrage-filled responses are pushed by these algorithms to keep users on the platforms for a longer amount of time and therefore maximize their profits. So, in other words, the more a post fires up, the more likely to go viral it is. And this is why fake news is so dangerous in today's digital age.
So let's look at the real danger. Fake news isn't just a funny misunderstanding. It can actually do harm. It spreads panic. It can lead to people making bad health decisions, like when fake news spreads about vaccines or treatments. It can shape public opinions during elections, like we saw in the recent American one. So the effect of fake news is what it gives it its power. Whether it's AI-made, human-made, or accidentally made, when people believe it and act on it, it becomes dangerous.
Okay, so now that we understand the full extent of this issue, how can we protect ourselves from it? Me and Meri developed two strategies that you can use to help yourself sift through the plethora of misinformation that we can find online. The first one is reliability. We need you to ask yourself, is this backed up by verified evidence, or is it just someone's opinion? Can we trace it back to a verifiable source like a scientist, or not? And is the language objective, or is it trying to evoke an emotion in us? This is because propaganda and fake news often disguise themselves as a fact. and leave out verifiable or traceable evidence. So if something sounds shocking or too good to be true, this is because it often is. The second strategy we developed is logic. We need you to ask yourself, does the argument actually make sense? Or is it, again, just trying to make you feel something? Are there any contradictions or logical gaps? And does it rely entirely on your emotional appeal, like sparking fear, pride, and excitement? Or is it explaining exactly why something is true? This is because fake news short-circuits your thinking. And if it can provoke a strong enough emotional response, then it can override your reasoning capabilities. So using these strategies can give you time to respond and not just react. So together, reliability and logic give you a good mental filter to, again, help sift through the plethora of misinformation. So you need to ask yourself, is this designed to inform me, or is it trying to make me form an opinion?
Let's take a moment to look at how easily fake news can spiral. There's countless news about UFO sightings online. I'm going to talk about the one that went especially viral in Arizona last year, sparking wild speculations about extraterrestrial life. Of course, this was later revealed to be fake, created using advanced AI tools. Despite the truth coming out, however, it had already fueled conspiracy theories and panic. So this incident highlights how easily fake news can spread, especially when it taps into emotions, and underscores the growing role of AI in creating realistic content and fake content that is hard to distinguish from reality. It's a reminder to always think before we believe.
Okay, so to conclude, what have we learned? We have learned that we give fake news its powers when we believe it without thinking or when we share it without checking. But if we stop, question, and think first, we can take that power back. So fake news may be made in different ways, but the actual danger is what it makes us do. So next time, ask yourself,
to believe or not to believe?
Thank you.
Thank you.